people will be able to hear.
No, the reason for that is because I had a show, and we were talking, and something was said on the show that shouldn't have been put out.
Oops.
So everything, now the warning has to come out.
Twitch has accepted the stream. YouTube has accepted the stream. Facebook has accepted the stream. Ready to go on the air?
Yeah.
Okay, when it says on the air, you're on the air.
Scary, isn't it? And here we go.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mick's World with my guest and fellow veteran, James.
Greetings. I prefer Jim, but that's okay.
Jim, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I just call him the snack bar guy.
Coffee bar manager.
Coffee bar manager. So, besides asking the most relevant question of how did your Veterans Day go?
It was pretty decent. Quiet, so I like it.
Did you get out and get any of the freebies?
Yeah, we went to Chili's and did our little thing there.
Yeah, Justin, the reason I did it on Monday is because I was away Friday, and it is Veterans Day, so I was trying to get some of the guys that I work with in the veterans program that I go to up to come on. And there's my girlfriend. Thank you, Justin. It's a little bit better than the one I used to have.
Yep. Hello, Carrie or Kelly.
That's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
So Justin was a ring announcer for Nickel City Wrestling. He's a volunteer fireman and used to be a dispatcher for Kenmore to dispatch like the police and all that happy crap.
Better him than me. I couldn't do it. Nope.
And well, let's just put it this way. My Veterans Day started out by driving back from Rochester because I had been in Rochester since Friday. Thank you, Justin. I've been in Rochester since Friday with Kelly. Drove back this morning and I had my most aggravating point of the day on my way out here because I had stopped at the casino in Buffalo Casino.
Yeah.
Because I have my card and there was supposed to be you slide your card every 11th day of the month and you get some free play. I get in there, I come off the 190 to go down there, and they were cutting the bills loose. Or not cutting the bills loose.
The game was over?
The hockey game was over.
Oh, jeez.
And I came off, and the casino's up by Pearl Street.
Yeah.
So I was coming out, and they were idiots.
Yeah, I took Nate down there, was it Friday, so he could get his smokes. Picked up gas. $3 a gallon. I wasn't gonna bitch.
I paid $2.70 today.
Oh, gee. Where was that at?
Down by out in Akron where my girlfriend lives.
Oh, okay.
It was $2.70 a gallon.
Is that out to res?
Yeah, out at the res, right outside of Akron.
Okay, all right.
Hang on a second, I'm gonna do some sharing real quick. I know she's probably not gonna be able to catch it, but I'll share it anyway. She said, I know that Anita... Never mind, I'm not gonna try to get myself in any trouble.
Where's the fun in that?
Well, she knows how to shoot.
Okay.
And I run.
You ain't gonna outrun that bullet.
Yeah, I know. I said... I don't know if you ever were up on the fourth floor for medical.
No.
My primary care provider had an ex-Marine sniper for a nurse.
Oh.
Tall guy. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to piss you off because I can't outrun a bullet.
Never piss off a man that can end you from another zip code.
Yeah, I know. Nick, our friend Nick there, he's from Georgia, but he talks about almost irrelevant stuff, so
Okay.
I barely pay attention to him. But would you care to give us a little bit of your background? Or is that one of those, if I tell you, I got to kill you?
No, I can tell you. It's, I did 24 years, Air Force. Part of it I spent working with the Marine Corps.
Yeah,
And
I forgot the crayons.
yeah, I know. Well, I noticed you ain't got any dessert here for me, but, hey, I'll let you slide this time. But I worked with Marines about half of my 24 years, and I was honored in becoming an honorary Marine. I was given the Black Eagle Globe and Anchor and the 3rd Marine 2nd Division Challenge Coin
Nice.
by the Commandant. So that was a pretty good feeling.
I grew up, well, besides being in the Navy, I grew up in a my real father was Army. My stepdad was Jarhead.
My dad was Air Force, 26 years, and he retired and then went back as a civilian doing the same job he was doing as a master sergeant.
And there's my roommate.
Yep.
One of the two ladies who keep my head on straight.
That's a full-time job.
I know.
And they don't even get paid for it? Oh, dang.
My like I said, my stepdad was a Marine, and the only reason I say was is because he's passed now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to, what am I going to say? It's kind of hard to perform your duty.
Kelly, always, baby, and yes, a full-time job. Hoorah! Hoorah, Kelly.
Just remember, you got to spend another weekend with me. Plus, you're going to wrestling. But she knows she's safe.
Yeah, I came from a military family. My dad was Air Force. My mother's side, my dad's brother was Navy, and then on my mother's side, there was I think one Marine, and then the rest were Navy.
And you know what I find is funny? And I've done my research in this, and I get yelled at all the time. Oh, dang. But I love you, and I know I'm safe with you. Yeah. But I did my research in this, and the Marines actually came from the Navy. They were designed to be ship boarders. That's about it.
Yeah, they were.
And my thought pattern is, what'd they do? Keep them down in the gut of the ship, not feed them, and then say, attack.
Pretty much. Like a friend of mine used to say, he said, I got nothing against Marines. I think everybody needs to own at least 3 or 4. Have them in a cage, feed them raw meat. Then in case of emergency or war, turn them loose. Yeah.
My stepdad, once he got out of the Marine Corps and we were living up here in New York, decided to join the Army National Guard. And he got the rank of supply sergeant. So they went on their 2-week thing, and he was on one of the trucks, like driving one of the big 2-ton trucks. And he said they pulled up on a site and they started doing machine gun fire, like simulated a fight. And he goes, those damn Army guys came out of the ground like freaking ants. But when I was growing up, if there was a problem, we went to my stepdad and he situated it.
Yep.
But God forbid you piss anybody off. Because, I got really familiar with my front yard when I lived in Louisiana. Way too familiar.
Yeah, my dad I wasn't so much afraid of. He'd yell, but my mom, no.
You don't argue.
Don't argue with mom, and she would always. She never, very rarely did she ever hit me with a belt or anything, but a lot of the time it was that sad look, and you've really disappointed me, and I was just like, oh,
And the worst part is I got my mom wasn't the kind of person that she would yell at you
No.
unless she had to. And then she would there was an issue with me and my brother. My brother fell off a tree 10 feet, hit his head. And
Oh.
some kid was dumb enough to knock him off his bike a couple months later, make him hit his head again. I went looking for the kid. Long story short, I found out I have a full name.
Yeah, I've known that for quite a while. I've known what my full name is.
I knew I had a full name, but you know what I'm saying. You don't when you're out with your friends or at home. Your mom, your dad will call you, like your mom would probably call you Jim, and my mom would be like Mike, Dan, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, so long story short, I had this guy on the ground. I was pounding the crap out of him, and my mom came up to the fence and yelled Michael, and I'm like, it didn't affect. Then she yelled Michael and my middle name. That didn't cut it. Then it went Michael, middle name, and last name, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And we're walking down the street back to our house, and I'm getting both barrels. But the funny part is she's like, wait until your father gets home, and I'm like, I'm gonna die. Walked in there. I'm sitting there on the couch because that's where my mom told me to plant my ass. My stepdad comes in. He goes in from where he was working, comes in, goes in the kitchen, gets something to drink, comes out of the kitchen, grabs the coffee table, pulls it up close to the couch and sits down. And I'm like, I'm thinking, last will and testament time. And he's like, you know, you're not supposed to lose your temper like that, and you're supposed to obey your mother. But I knew what the actual speech was going to end up being,
Yeah.
because I got the bitch out and you're grounded for a week in the yard. But I also got good thing. You did good by protecting your brother.
Yep.
But you got to listen to mom. If mom says stop, it's either you better stop or she's going to cast iron skillet your ass. I love my parents. They were fun.
Oh yeah, my parents were great. I love my parents. My mom's still alive. My dad passed away.
Like when I started
September
PRC,
30th of last year.
a little bit before I started PRC last year.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always call it PRC, and people are like, what is that? And I'm like, a group I go to.
Yeah. It's the PRRC, also the Outpatient Treatment Center for the VA, and we just call it the center. You know, the Veterans Center, it's center.
And so,
Occasionally the loony bin.
yeah, believe me, I've seen some come and go.
Oh yeah, we got some in there that their bread ain't done in the middle.
There are some that are even more antisocial than I am.
Yeah. There are quite a few.
And then we got our Devil's Rejects that just come back from Texas.
Yeah.
Not even Texas could keep them that long.
I don't blame them.
Well, what do you expect? You send a New York country boy down to Texas, and then expect him, yeah, he ain't gonna want to stay there very long.
He was out on a ranch that's like, I don't know,
Huge.
huge. I mean, it's like, I don't know how many acres, thousands of acres. It's like, I mean, Texas is home for me. Yeah, I was born there, but I would never move back. But
You know, I love the joke that they say wherever you go in Texas, everybody's got a gun. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, can I go? Can I please go?
yeah.
But
It's like there's a poem. It says the sun is rose and the sun is set, and you ain't left Texas yet. And that don't matter whether you're going east to west or north to south. You will not get out of Texas in one day.
what was really funny about my Navy career is I've been all over the world. Well, I can't say all over the world, but I've been, mostly West Coast stuff.
Yeah.
And the culture, it's not even a culture shock because I'm used to, the people on my ship. And then we pulled into Singapore, and that was one of the best places I've ever been.
Oh,
And it wasn't, I didn't drink. I didn't do, stupid shenanigans. I went to the Singapore Zoo. And it was sweet.
you're no fun.
Question for our guest. Comparing the time you spent in the military compared to those now, what would you give the newer generation?
The newer generation.
Would you give the newer generation?
Oh. Well, the newer generation coming in, boot camp is it's a mind game. They tear you down and to build you back up to work as a solid unit. And just get in, decide what you're going to do before you go in, and get it in writing. Just put it in writing, because if it's not in writing, it doesn't matter what that recruiter tells you. If it ain't in writing, it never happened.
And also remember, when you sign your contract with the military, the motherfucker doesn't have an expiration date.
Now, your oath does not have an expiration date. Your oath does not have an expiration date. But my thing is to them is, my heart really goes out to these young guys that have fought in Iraq and Afghanistan. I was in Afghanistan for Iraq for 3 tours. And, too many times, young'uns coming home in a forever box. And
the best part about being in the United States is you don't have to worry about drinking formaldehyde.
This is true.
Because over in the Gulf, my ship was AOE, which we gave off food, gas, and bullets.
Yeah.
So technically a Buffalo 7-Eleven.
You were a supply ship.
Yes. But like I said, technically a Buffalo 7-Eleven these days. But the whole concept was that we got in there, we had to pull into port to pick up more fuel. So we got to get our Liberty time, and nobody told me until after we were gone why the pop tasted funny. Because to me, it didn't taste like Coke or like Pepsi.
Yeah.
It had an off taste, and then one of my petty officers goes, "Oh, that's because the preservative they use in it is formaldehyde." And I'm like, okay, so technically I'm embalmed already?
Pretty much. That's like over in the Philippines. I was over there for 3 years. The beer was it had formaldehyde in it. I didn't drink the beer. I never could stand beer. I always drank, whiskey or rum. Yeah.
So you were looking for the sterilization.
I was trying to sterilize my innards.
But the funny part is that, I know you live with I think she was Air Force?
Army.
Or Army.
Yes.
And I've lived with an ex-Army individual that we won't go into very much detail, but I lived with an ex-Army individual whose son, I would swear, his oldest son likes to make up stories. We'll put it that way. I call it sometimes stolen valor, but he makes up stories. He literally told his wife's dad, who was a Marine, that he was a Marine Corps sniper and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
And I'm like, he's alive. That's the worst part.
I was going to say, he's still alive?
Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, I've spent my time with military burying, a lot of it. And I learned from that. I didn't learn the military burying because my thing in the Navy was get in, get done, get out.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave when I did, but I had to leave due to some circumstances beyond my control.
Yeah, I had after my third tour in Iraq, I came home, and I was given a choice. Really wasn't much of a choice, but I either had to retire or lose custody of my youngest son. So, yeah, that wasn't a choice. It was just retire, and took me like 2 years to get him out of foster care, but
You know, and the whole. Oh, that must be your phone.
yeah, that's
the
my
whole
phone.
the whole situation that I grew up doing a lot of shit. I'll have to admit that. I lived in Louisiana for a while. I lived out in the middle of East Bumfuckton, up here in like Java Center with my aunt. I've lived like a lot my Southern Tiers time. But my biggest thing that I've always had a problem with, and I still have a problem with it today, is there are no real support groups. Or, no, I shouldn't say support groups, no real groups for veterans just to hang out.
No.
And not have, no big on, no bashing the crap out of the PRC, but
Yeah.
we need more social groups and less structured groups.
Yeah.
Where the veterans can get together and shoot the shit and get to talk to fellow people who might have that same problem as they do, but without somebody, a staff member or a higher up, hanging on every word
Yeah.
they say.
Yeah, that there have been guys in the past at the PRRC that have talked about that, and they wanted to have like their own little private group where they could go in one of the rooms and basically have a bitch session. And that never got off the ground. But for the, veterans getting together, we would have to work something out, find a place to go and sit down and.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's like before I came to the Buffalo area, I was in mental health social clubs.
Yeah.
Which were designed for people with mental health issues to get together, and we played pool, we played games,
Yeah.
we met, we ate together, and we chatted and went on little things. And it's like we lost that privilege when New York State put a program called PARS, the PARS program or whatever it's called. I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly.
PARS.
The PROS program is what
Pros.
yeah.
Yeah, my
And
son's part of that.
Unless you have Medicaid or Medicare, you can't get in there unless you want to pay on a sliding scale.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people that I know from my group up here, they lost everything. A military veteran I knew lost a chance to come and socialize with people. I've seen him recently, and he looks like shit.
I've seen a lot of fellow veterans that, they're homeless, and that really aggravates me.
But according to the county executive at one of the stand-downs, we have no homeless veterans in Western New York.
He's about as full of it as a Christmas goose on Thanksgiving. But
No, I'm being serious. I went to one of the stand-downs. It was at the Ball Diamond.
yeah,
And he was stood there with the mayor on his side and other people, and he's like, well, we have no homeless veterans in Western New York. We've resolved all those homeless veteran issues.
oh yeah,
And I'm like, and the guy that was standing there next to me, he's like, well, that's kind of funny. I live down the Southern Tier. I'm homeless. And I'm like,
yeah. My third wife used to work with a group, and they dealt with a lot of homeless people. And she had 4 veterans in there that were homeless, and she was always trying to help them out and do things, and they wouldn't listen to her. And I told her, I says, well, for one, you're a civilian. No offense to civilians out there, but when you're trying to talk to veterans, they're not going to listen to you. You gotta earn that respect. You have to get out there, you have to work, you have to earn it. Whereas we can sit here and talk to each other and not even know each other from Adam, and the respect is already there. And she was wanting me to talk to him, so I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll go talk to him. And all four of them they've got all their medical debt taken care of at the VA hospital, and they choose to be homeless. They, two of them had service dogs. They got plenty of money, but they're like, why rent a place? Why rent an apartment? Why buy a house?
Or something I stand.
Veteran shelter or something. Stand for
I
that.
think my dad and my family who served, I respect all. Yeah, her dad's Army vet. Cranky old bastard, too. 70 some odd years old, and he's cranky as fuck.
Okay. I'm 65 and I'm cranky.
Yeah, but we'll just say there's a difference here.
He's at that age where he's like, shut up and get off my lawn.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta show you a picture. I gotta show you a picture. Yeah, yes, he is for 78.
Yeah.
I've got a picture that I found, a friend of mine sent me, of a triple Gatling gun.
Oh.
Gatling, like the Gatling guns.
Yeah.
There's two on the bottom and there's one stacked on the top, and it says, "Dude, get off my lawn." And then I've got another one that, and it's funny because it's like free photos. Look in the hole and wait for the flash. And it's a freaking long ass artillery piece.
Yeah.
But since I started at PRC, I've seen a lot come and go. Honestly, there's been a lot of veterans that I don't see, but that's because of the fact I usually only come on on Wednesdays for the rec therapy group.
Yeah.
I would rather come to the rec therapy group and hang out with Patrick and the other guys than go to a group where you're going to hand me a piece of paper and say, "Here, go study this." Or, "Here, go practice this." Where is the... I'm not going to get into asking where the practicality of that
Well,
is.
a lot of the one thing I can say about this PRRC is we are the best in the nation. We have far more groups to help veterans out than any of the others. And they are trying to emulate ours right now, which to me is really, really good because we have so many of those groups, and some of them are like, yeah, here's the paper, this is what we're going to go over, and it's, you interact, but it's mostly stay focused on this.
Yeah. But then there's also weekend chocolate.
Yeah, weekend chocolate.
Or my favorite one was Mandela meditation.
Yeah, that's with Gary McGee.
Yeah, just sitting there and coloring.
Yeah, weekend chocolate is a blast because it's just a kickback, relaxed time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was at the VA Thursday and I was walking through and I didn't realize it until I saw it on the wall that Amy, the one counselor, she had her picture up at the VA, and I'm like, what is her picture up there for? And you walk through the VA and you see the pictures and it's like FBI most wanted. She's probably going to kill
That's
me.
Not me.
That.
That's not me. That's not me.
I know, but you know what I'm saying? You see the pictures of all the staff members and that?
Hers is over there by the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's the POW rep.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Bob Young used to have that title until he retired.
And like I said, my joke is when I go in there, I see all these pictures on the wall of the different staff members who do different things, and I'm like, well, we got the FBI's most wanted here. And my biggest bitch about the VA hospital is the day they put in those stupid scanners.
Yeah, that makes for a pain in the ass, but yeah, they're checking
Checking for what?
weapons. You come in, you got to have a backpack. You've got a backpack or a purse or something. They got to search it. I came in one time, and it was when my knees were all jacked up, and I was walking with a cane, and the cane set it off. So I had to go over there and empty out all my pockets.
Well, here's the thing. This is what pisses me off the most. When I go into the VA, the only thing I have is my jacket, my keys, my wallet, and my phone. And their sensors blip off for a mass that's not even where my stuff is. Like, I'll walk in there and it'll say that I have a mass that they need to inspect on the left-hand side. And my keys and everything are always on my right. My wallet, my keys, my phone are usually in my right-hand pocket. Yeah. So I'm like, dude, and it's like, if you go into North Tonawanda to go to the city building, you have to go through a metal detector.
Yeah.
Just to get in there to pay a bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, well, we just implemented that because we're the only area that really doesn't have metal detectors. Why do you need metal detectors? You got the freaking court cops sitting right there. Nobody's going to be dumb enough to hit a place where the cop shop is next door.
You're assuming that there are people out there that really have that level of intelligence that would stop and think about something like that.
Not even the cops in North Tonawanda have that level of intelligence. Let's be honest.
I mean, yeah, I'll tell you a funny little story. As my hometown, very small, Brady, Texas. One of the kids from the town, him and his buddy decided just for grins and giggles, they were going to rob one of the convenience stores. Well, they chose the one out on 87 North.
Where all the cops stop for their...
The only problem is 2 blocks this way is the sheriff's office. 2 blocks that way is police station. Right in the middle of shift change. No, they don't have enough people to cover that one. Oh my God.
You know, and here's the funny part, because I heard this, there was a story about this I got from a friend, that somebody was dumb enough to hit up, before they turned it into a Tim Hortons, that donut shop that's right there on Bailey, I think it's Bailey and Broadway, or Bailey and something.
Bailey and William?
Yeah, right there at the, because you got to go, when you go across Bailey, you go down under the viaduct, or under the little bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Bailey. That's William right there. Some
dumbass decided to go rob the donut shop. And from what I was told, it was shift change, and there was off duty, the offgoing shift was there, and the oncoming shift in police cars. They were all sitting in the donut shop getting their donuts. This dumbass walks in. I'm like, when the story was told to me, I just was like, dude, get some mental help.
Yeah, it's like the one T-shirt I have that says, "When I asked how stupid could you be, it wasn't a challenge." You never ask that because people will take it as a challenge.
There's been some really, my life has been twisted. I'll admit it, my life has been twisted. I've had to go through a lot of crap over the last few years with deaths and that. And I've always been, I've talked to people who I know were veterans. And I'm like, well, do you get your VA disability? Have you went to the VA and got your medical? And they're like, well, I don't think I deserve it. I'm like,
guilty.
Yep. And I'm like, and they're like, well, I don't think I deserve it. I don't need that. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Tax-free money. Tax-free money, free medical care. Plus, you get the VA hospital. I bitch and moan about how bad it is, but I'm going to be honest. What other hospital are you going to go to where you've got everything in one building?
Yeah.
It's like you got your OR, you got your OR, you've got your every specialty department that they could friggin' shove in the box gets shoved in there.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
then you get your
absolutely.
glasses, your hearing aids, your any type of medical equipment you need. I'm like, what is your major malfunction there? Then you get certain people, we won't name any names, who like to turn off their hearing aids when they're having conversations with somebody they're out to dinner with. I'm waiting for that response. I know it's coming. But no, and that's what aggravates me is they say, you know, no, I don't want to get this stuff. I don't think I deserved it. I don't think I earned it. And I'm like,
Yeah, I was the same way.
see, told you I knew the response was coming.
You're
You know-
grumpy too.
No,
Yeah.
the haha, yes, he does. Lo, only my dad.
Yeah.
Her dad will be having a conversation with somebody he goes out to dinner with. He turns his hearing aids off because he doesn't want to hear her talk. But like I was saying, I bitch and moan about the VA all the time. But it's, you know, you tell these people go get at least go and get your medical. If you don't want the free money, then fine, you know.
Yeah.
That's your prerogative. But go get your free medical. You put in 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever.
Yeah.
Go get your medical.
Yeah, when I first started coming to the PRRC, they were wanting to know what my disability rating was, and I said I don't have one. They said, well, you know, you really need to work on, you know, getting your disability and all that. I'm like, why? I'm not disabled. I got all my body parts. I'm okay. And, you know, they're like, no, you're not okay. And then I finally got started out and got my 70%. And then later got my 100%.
Well, you want to hear something funny? I was only getting 30% when I finally got my disability. I was only getting 30%. I'm at my ex-father-in-law's trailer because I came back from Wisconsin, and all of a sudden I get this check in the mail for like $3,000-$4,000. No explanation. I remember my mom telling my dad years ago, go get help at the VA or we're getting divorced. Damn.
Yeah.
But, you know, I got this check in the mail, no explanation. Because you know how the VA is. They'll send you your check, and then the forms will take fucking 10 years for the paperwork to show up at your house.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, why did I get this check? And they go, well, we raised your disability. I called because I called the 1-800 number. I go, I just received a check for like $3,000, and I don't know why. And the lady goes, can you give me your, you know, all your information? I'm like, she goes, oh, we raised your disability from 30 to 50. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't put in for, you know, to be raised. And then I put in my disability for unemployability. And then everything went up again. And I was like, cool. I knew that one was coming because I had fought. I was fighting a hard time. It was bad enough that the VA rep in Olean, his secretary knew me by first name and the tone of my voice.
Well, that's more than what I've known you by.
But, you know, it was like funny because I'm like, huh? And, you know, I do a lot of stuff. I had to force my ex-father-in-law to go file for disability. He was going to the VA, but he was having mental health issues, and he wouldn't go and he wouldn't file for him. He didn't know he could file for him.
A lot of them don't. And yeah, the one thing about the VA, trying to get your disability, some of the time, I'm not going to say most of the time because I really don't know, but some of the time it is a long, hard, drawn-out process.
Yeah, like 3 years or more.
Yeah, and the thing is, you gotta sit there and look at it like they don't want you to have it; they want you to give up. But don't give up. Do
I know.
not give up.
Oh, believe me,
Just keep pushing through.
my rep was like, you don't have to keep calling me every week or whatever.
Yep.
You can just let me handle this. I can handle this. And I'm like, I'm not the patient person. My patience level is about EAB.
Yours and mine both.
And then, I tried. I was like patient. And then when I finally got that raise to 100%, I was like, well, unemployable. So that means I can't work. And then I realized, yeah, there's a reason why I can't work. And then I figured it out over time that because I can't work because of my mental health issues.
Yeah.
When it really came to the head where I figured it out was when I told a coworker that I was working at a cheese factory in Wisconsin, if he didn't leave me alone, I was going to shove him in the chopper and add him to the cream cheese. And I'm like, yeah,
I've never done something that bad, but yeah.
And the bad part is I'm the kind of person like I've told my roommate, I've told my girlfriend, I like to learn by doing it.
Yeah, hands on.
Yeah. And I was doing my job and he was sitting there just dogging me. And I hate cream cheese as it is. When I have to start throwing 15-pound blocks of cream cheese and go home and shower 3 times just to get the smell off of me, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And I busted you work your ass off. I've worked at like 3 different cheese plants. The one that when I started, I worked as a temp at a cheese factory.
Yeah.
That made that one of the cheeses they made was the cheese for Little Caesars. The cheese combo for Little Caesars. They made that one. And then another I worked at this one that made dips. I was in the department where they made the spread dips. I know Mick via his walk and the keys, and I can feel his presence before he hits the door. I call that the force. Because I made a joke with a buddy of mine that I used to go to Toronto with.
Yeah.
He worked at the Best Buy in Clarence. And I walked into his store because I was looking for something, and I knew that he was working because I could see his little what the hell's it? Mini Cooper in the driveway or in the parking lot. He drove a little Mini Cooper. I'm like, okay. So I walked in there and he was sitting there, and all of a sudden his head pops up and I go, what'd you do? Feel a switch in the force or something? And he goes, nah, I could just hear you coming. I'm like, and then I realized it's my keys.
Yep.
Jingle.
Oh, I have to, it's like when I'm at the center, there was a point to where I'd always wear my keys because someone in there who will be nameless complained that I walked too softly and I would startle them because it's like all of a sudden, poof, I was there.
I do that to Richard all the time.
And so I always had to carry my keys on me and jingle, jingle, jingle. I hardly ever do that anymore, but yeah,
You could tell that I've been at the PRC because I get there early in the morning. I start walking the halls just to get my steps in.
Yep.
And I know that I usually come in there before 8 o'clock. I get there by between 8 and 8:30 because I just want to get in there, get a good place to sit and group. Because sometimes you go into these group rooms and the seating sucks. But what was I going to say? Oh, I had a talk with Patrick on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I asked him when will we know if our stuff made it to nationals? He said by about December.
December? Okay, because I know
they just submitted the package at the end of October.
Oh, okay.
And yours was one of your plaque for your dad was considered going to
it's
being put up for consideration in nationals.
Second place here, and it was forwarded on to national.
I got 2 photos that are going to nationals. Hopefully,
we had quite a few people going to and even our collage went to national.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
You know what was really interesting? And I'm not going to say who it was, but this individual shows up at the art show and started complaining that this one shouldn't be allowed to enter the contest because it's been in nationals already and it's not giving people a chance, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I didn't go there. I only went there because Patrick said, come check out your art, your pictures, the way I framed them. Little did I know that I got that I was going to get freaking ambushed when I was there. No, because I went in there, just to look at my photos. I figured I'd be in and out.
Yeah.
And I looked at Patrick. I said, I'm leaving soon. He goes, no, just hang on. So they start their presentation, and he goes, well, I want to call somebody up here. And I'm like, okay, why am I sticking around for this? And then I hear him, he goes, I want to call up. So he called me up there, and he goes, you're going to win this award. You won this award from a veteran who did photography, did art. It's an award they got after he passed away. And I'm like, so you ambushed me. Yeah, I wasn't. I'm not the biggest, I'm the worst critic of my own work.
You and me both.
It's like, like I saw yours. I sent you a picture of it because I saw it and I took a picture because I knew you were out doing whatever you were doing. And I figured, well,
I was working the coffee bar, which, I manage it. So if nobody else can be there, I have to be.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I figured, well, hell, he's probably not going to get a chance to come see this.
No.
So I figured I'd send it to you, let you know that you at least won a participation thing. I didn't realize that you went second place.
Yeah, I went second place.
And it's like and I've made this comment, and it's the truth. I want to go to nationals, and I don't care if I win or not. It's just another tick on my resume of photography saying I went to Veterans National Competition. My work was considered good enough to be
at least be entered. Yeah, at least be entered.
Yeah, to be judged on that level.
Yeah.
And if I win, I win. If I don't, then, I don't care.
It's like out of, 50 VA hospitals and Lord knows how many veterans that put in stuff all the time. My photography is just that. It's my photography. Yeah.
I shoot for myself most of the time. Can you hit?
Yeah, I just started doing the woodworking not too long ago. Because I shake too bad to work with the plastic models like I used to. So I just started into woodworking. I'm getting better at it. And I'm working on 3 plaques right now.
And I wasn't trying to be cold-hearted last Wednesday when I came in. I was not up for, I didn't even want to get out of my car that day. When I pulled into the parking lot, I'm like, I don't even want to get out of my car.
I've had days like that.
And it sucks.
Yep.
But we're down to the last 11 minutes. I didn't even talk about the phone, but who cares? Because I have a call. The call-in number is usually active, guys. It's active now if you wanted to call in. But like I was saying, over the time frame of all the times I've shot pictures, and I'm sure you've seen my my Facebook photo albums.
Yeah.
That thing's like a mile long. It's got from when I first started shooting wrestling and up. And I'll make this joke because it's the truth. When I got my money from my stepdad, from my real father, I went to the pawn shop on Sheridan and wiped out every camera, lens, and whatever equipment they had in the showcase that time.
Oh, Jesus.
I come home with a silver tote full of camera equipment. I keep collecting cameras. Like right now, the only reason, and I'm not saying the only reason, one of the reasons that Virginia is in the Odyssey project is because I told her about it. I spoke to her about it. I got her Not really. But, you know, I spoke to her about it, and she wanted to learn. And, you know, Virginia's a really nice lady. She does radio shows.
Yeah, Virginia's
here, too.
cool. She's good people.
Though I was still kind of a little upset at the time that she beat me last year in the costume contest. But, you know.
Oh, you poor thing.
No, what really got me up? What really got me is the costume I had. My buddy built me a Punisher chest plate.
Yeah.
I put it on. It's a big, almost looks like a bulletproof vest. He built that for me for my cosplay, and he built me a helmet, which is ventilated so I don't sweat too much. I had my gloves from my Punisher outfit. I had a lightsaber. You know, I had a lightsaber. I was trying, because I couldn't bring in the actual weapons that I used for my Punisher costume. And then this year I got beat by somebody who got their stuff out of the costume box. The costume tote.
Yeah.
And it just, you know, that kind of just, you know, it's like, I know that I was just like technically fresh.
Yeah.
And nobody knew who I was. But it's just, I put the attention to detail into my costume.
Yeah.
And to have somebody who can just pull their stuff out of the box and win it, it's like. And then this year I was going to do it, but I didn't even know when the costume contest was.
Yeah. I was going to be Papa Smurf. I was even going to paint my face blue. And I got the costume in a 1X. I should have got it in a 2X or a 3X, because when I tried to put it on, no.
You got it probably up to your knees, right?
I got it up to about mid-thigh, and the pants just stopped. And it's like, no, this is not working. So next year, try it again.
Please tell me you didn't order it off of Temu.
No, I ordered it off Amazon.
You know, it's like Temu is one of my favorite sites.
I've never ordered anything off there.
A lot of their stuff comes from China, but I order EMS equipment, like their EMT bags and their little pouches that have medical equipment in it. I've got so many pairs of trauma shears right now, I don't even know what to do with them. I've got so much tape, I've got so much gauze, and it's like, dude, what am I going to do with all this now? But I carry like 2 EMS bags in my car. My roommate has one in her car, and I got one sitting in my house.
I've got an emergency bag in the back of my car. I got it last year. Well, it was at my church, because Erie County came in and did this emergency thing, and everybody that was there left with a small backpack full of goodies.
Well, I could literally gather all my medical equipment, and I'll be like, it's not even a joke. Like I said, there's a EMS bag at home. There's 2 in my car. There's one in my roommate's car. There's pouches laying all over my dining room table full of medical equipment, like Band-Aids and tape and stuff. And then I was going to Savers. I picked up some gauze and some tape and stuff from there, because somebody turned in a bunch of medical supplies. The only thing that really aggravates me about Savers, though, is when there's times where I go in there and somebody's family has donated the medals, military medals that their family members have gotten. I walked in there one day, and I was livid when I walked out of there, because I walked past the case. Somebody had donated their family member's Purple Heart.
Oh, man.
It was sitting in a display case, and she was only charging $15 for it.
Yeah, all of that you can donate and you can sell. The only thing you can't is a Medal of Honor.
But you know, it's like, I said something to the lady. I'm like, these belong to a veteran or somebody from the military.
Yeah.
Why are you selling them cheap? They put their lives on the line for it. And she's like, well, I got to get rid of them somehow. And I'm like, there's the VA hospital down on Bailey Avenue. There's numerous different veterans associations that would take those and make things out of them.
Yeah.
Like make honor boards for somebody out of them. But I want to thank you for appearing, even though you did forget.
I apologized.
I know.
3 times now. 3 times. Come on.
I know.
3 times.
I know. But again, like I said, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get this. A couple years ago, I had thought about doing a veterans show. Couldn't get anybody on. Well, I did get my friend Erica on for women's domestic violence.
Okay.
She was on for domestic violence awareness. I met Erica through the Odyssey Project. But like I said, thank you for coming on, and hopefully I'll get Rich on the next time. But to all the people watching, what was I gonna say?
I don't know. I'll play a silly game. What were you going to say?
I lost my train of thought. I'll give you my normal speech. Be safe, be strong, and see ya.